righty. Well. We've reached the epic conclusion of just what has been a very thrilling playoffs. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Meeting the Key. You know what it is. It is time for us to just review the Eastern Conference Finals, because Western Conference Finals, that was done, wrapped up, chicken wrapped, as Brandon likes to say. It was spicy with a little bit of Polynesian sauce on the side. Oh, it was delicious. But we had one series left, one series that we left off at, and man, oh man, what could have been? What could have been? Eastern Conference Finals are done. The finals are set. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start the show. Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Meeting the Key. Yes, we are we are winding down our coverage on the NBA playoffs. We wrapped up the Eastern Conference Finals last week. We started the finals this week. The finals are set. The Eastern Conference Finals was just on the cusp of history. It was so close. And we're going to break it all down. As always, joining me to break down the action, my compadre, my amigo, one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, I know it's been a whirlwind, but how are you doing?
All I got to say is there's always next year. It's always next year. That's it. That is it. I don't have words.
Yes, we will get into it. If you've been following along with us during this NBA playoffs, you know that our guy here, Brandon, massive Celtics fan. And when we left off, I believe it was 3-1 in the series. The two, Game 5, Game 6, had not happened yet. The rally had not happened yet. So let's just quickly review how the Eastern Conference Finals wrapped up. So we had the Celtics take Game 5, 3-1. We had the Celtics take Game 6 on an absolute heart attack buzzer beater from the Buffalo himself, Derek White. And oh man, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe what I was watching in Game 6. So to have Marcus Smart take a miracle three-point dagger for the win, to it almost going in, to Max Strus thinking that they were headed to the finals, to Derek White doing what a role player does and always staying on his assignment, getting to the corner for the wide open three, then tracking Marcus Smart's shot to get the ball off with 0.1 seconds left on the clock to steal Game 6, to force an improbable Game 7. And I know what you're telling yourself. I know what all the Heat fans are saying, but there was 2.1 seconds left on the clock. Hey, you have eyeballs. You have eyeballs, right? You have a smartphone. How about you go back and watch the replay, you freaking blind mouse? The clock clearly changing in between 3.0 to 2.9 when that foul occurred. Get some glasses if you can't see, or don't talk about basketball if you don't know it. Ridiculous. Celtics steal Game 6 after blowing Game 6. Charles Barkley said it after the game. I've never seen a team try and lose a series like the Boston Celtics tried to do. But they were able to hang on. They got the job done after fouling Jimmy late on that three-pointer. Unbelievable. Then we get to game 7. And man, oh man, what just a deflating performance from the Boston Celtics. A team who gave up. How do you pull off one of the most improbable comebacks in NBA history and then you give up? You give up right when you're there. Horrible shot selection. Horrible. Jacking up terrible threes. 4 for 21 in the first half. Horrible. Nobody could get any momentum. Everybody was flat. Jaylen Brown did what he could. Derek White did what he could. Jason Tatum rolled his ankle. First play of the game. Essentially changed the trajectory of the game, it looks like. You don't want to think something that small could do that because you have 4 other people on the court plus 7 other people on the bench. But in the end, the Boston Celtics could not pull off something that we have never seen before. And Caleb Martin, the hero for the Miami Heat, one of their undrafted players. He was undrafted. One of their undrafted players, star shining in this playoffs. Jimmy, of course, had a big game. Caleb Martin was the X factor in that game, getting the job done for the Miami Heat. Miami Heat handled business in Boston on the road, Game 7. Give me some of your thoughts on the series, the Celtics, and just what are you feeling? You've had some time to decompress and just wind down. What do we got? What are some thoughts we got?
Yeah, I mean, to go down 3-0, I think this was the one shot in our lifetime that we had a chance to see somebody come back and do it, come back from 3-0. I just don't think in our lifetime we will ever see it. I'll get into that in a little bit, but to go down 3-0, it's tough. It's very deflating to know that if you would have just won one of those games, you probably would have won the series. So kind of crazy to think about. You had them on the ropes in game 1 and 2. You had chances and opportunities in those 2 games, and definitely game 2, and you blew it. And it's demoralizing because you had a chance to. If you would have won one of those games, you were going to win one in Miami. So you had a chance to go back to your house 2-2, and instead you went back 3-1. So. Heroic effort by Derek White, but Celtics should have never been in that position. They get really comfortable with leads at the end of games. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's just Jaylen Brown. I don't know if it's Jason Tatum. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the whole team collectively, but they have trouble with having leads, in the last 5 minutes of games. I have no idea why that is. They constantly play with fire. It's like something happens and a switch turns off, but give them credit though. For coming back and giving us a series. I mean, they won games 5 and 6. They made it very interesting. I texted you immediately when Jason Tatum got hurt and said it's over. The reason why is the first play of the game. I've played pickup games with friends before. I've rolled my ankle and I can barely do anything. So I'm just saying, like, as an athlete, where you're having to run up and down a court, and I was just playing half court ball. And obviously I'm not as conditioned as they are, but it doesn't matter. A sprained ankle is a sprained ankle. You're out there. And so I will give Jason Tatum some credit for, wincing his way through the game. I mean, he didn't come out. I mean, think about it. Gabe Vincent, missed a whole game because of a rolled ankle. If we would have won. Yeah. I mean, he played a whole game. If we would have won, I have serious doubts that Jason Tatum would have played game 1 against Denver. I just think that he rolled that really hard. And Jason Tatum never really gets hurt. It wasn't a major injury or anything like that, but that definitely impacted his ability to be a ball handler. Because when you're a ball handler, you really have to shift. Now he's playing off the ball. Now you have Derek White and other players trying to do it. Jaylen Brown trying to handle the ball, which I've said time and time again. I love Jaylen Brown, but he is one of the worst ball handlers in the league. That is one thing he absolutely has to focus on. Is he's an amazing scorer. He's one of the best transition players in basketball. He's a great two-way player. He is just a turnover machine. And that is one thing. It's like, Jalen, you have one thing that you need to focus on. If you can master that, you can be a top 10 player in the league, you know? So that's my advice to Jaylen Brown is work on your handles, man. Work on your left, your right. Just work on it. That's all you got to do. Everything else is really, really good. His handles. You know, Game 7, really brutal. You know, congratulations to the Miami Heat. Give Eric Spoelstra a lot of credit. He had them ready. They came out and they punched us. And I think that the problem is the Celtics were riding the high of that win, and they thought that momentum was just going to win them the game. They didn't really have to show up. So, unfortunately, like you said, a lot of stupid shots were put up. A lot of, you know, but they should have never been in that situation in the first place. The reason why a team will never come back from 3-0 is because you have to play a perfect basketball 4 games in a row against a team who was about to sweep you. So I don't think it's ever going to happen in my lifetime. It could happen, you know, 1,000 years from now, 500 years from now. I'm saying in my lifetime, I got maybe 50 more years to live. I don't see that happening in the next 50 seasons. I would love to. I would love to see it. As long as it's not the Los Angeles Lakers, I would love to see it. Yeah. But, you know, hopefully somebody does it. But, you know, good series all in all. But like I said, you got to give Miami credit. I mean, there's not much else you can say. I mean, they went into Boston and they got it done. So they've advanced to the NBA Finals, something that we were unable to do, and I thought we would.
It was a hell of a series. It's been a hell of a playoffs. Definitely one of the better playoffs in recent memory. I mean, yeah, the Celtics, you know, looked down and out, looked like they weren't even ready to be there. And then they fought hard 3 games in a row, clawed. They had 2 great performances in Game 4 and Game 5. Just weren't able to get it done. We're not able to get it done. Game 4, they kind of turned it around. Game 5, they turned it on. Game 6, they looked really good, and then they kind of choked the lead away again at the end. Then they were able to get some miracle-saving basketball from Derek White, and then Game 7 happened, and yeah, they just ran out of gas. And, you know, you could tell Miami, like, unlike most teams, Miami was ready to play immediately after that game against the Celtics. So, you know, give props to Miami. It is hard, you know, you lose 3 games in a row. That team, you would not think that their mental health, their mental strength is very, their mental toughness is at the peak of where it needs to be for them to close out the series. And the Miami Heat were able to get it done. The Boston Celtics, again, just were not able to get the job done. We'll see what happens in the offseason for the Celtics. They're going to get Gallinari back. What happens with the Tatum and Brown connection? Do they get $600 million? Do they move on from Brown? Do they move on from Tatum? They're not moving on from Tatum. So we'll see what happens with Brown. We'll see what happens with Brown.
We can both agree with that. Tatum's not going anywhere.
No, Tatum's not going anywhere. We'll see what happens with Horford. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Boston Celtics. I'm very curious to see what they do. And then it's going to be a very interesting offseason for most of these teams in the NBA. This offseason is it seems very reminiscent of a few years ago where we saw a lot of player movement. I think we're going to see a lot of player movement this offseason. A lot of people get paid a lot of money. But that leads us into the NBA Finals. And we already had Game 1 take place, and man, oh man, it went about as I think a lot of people expected it to go. We have the Miami Heat, the 8th seed Miami Heat, the play-in Miami Heat, the lowest scoring team in the NBA, Miami Heat, reaching the NBA Finals, I should say, traveling to the mile-high city of Denver, where for the first time ever, the Denver Nuggets, yes, the Denver Nuggets have reached the NBA playoffs with arguably one of the most dominant big men to ever step foot on the hardwood. The Denver Nuggets reach the NBA Finals for the first time, and they look to do something that has never been done in their franchise history. Not only win an NBA Finals, but how about just winning a Finals game? We have the Miami Heat. We have the Denver Nuggets. Game 1 was yesterday, or was on Thursday, and the Denver Nuggets showed up ready to play. And they just outplayed the Miami Heat. If you watch that game, the Miami Heat played well. They did not play bad at all. They kept fighting back. They kept clawing back. If they were in the game until the very, very end, they always put pressure on the Nuggets for them to actually have to put the game away. So the Miami Heat played well. The Denver Nuggets just played better. The Nuggets are a hell of a basketball team. I'll say that much. The Denver Nuggets are an impressive basketball team to watch. We'll see what happens with their future. They could be setting themselves up for years to come with this title run. It could be like the Milwaukee Bucks, one and done, right? They get there, they win it, then they're done, basically. So the Denver Nuggets are super impressive. This playoff run has been super impressive. And because of that, the Denver Nuggets will be your 2022-2023 NBA champions. Yes, I can't believe I'm even saying that. The Denver Nuggets, I feel, are going to reach the mountaintop. And I'll be honest, I feel like they're going to reach the mountaintop in 5. I think the Heat are a good team. I think the Heat definitely can win some games. But the Nuggets are just a different animal right now. Everybody is contributing, and Miami Heat coming up to the altitude, I'm sure that definitely plays a role. But at the same time, them getting a lot of rest, the altitude, but Denver, they look ready. They look ready. So the Denver Nuggets, great performance in Game 1 against the Miami Heat, getting their first ever NBA Finals win. It's going to be exciting. It is going to be an exciting series. I got the Nuggets do it in 5 games. Nuggets in 5, first ever NBA championship, and Nikola Jokic wins Finals MVP because he ain't going out this season without at least one MVP award. Well, he's already got conference finals, so 2 MVP awards. Heat Nuggets. If you would have told me that at the start of the season that these 2 teams would be in the finals, I would have said you are crazy. But we're here. We got them. These are the only 2 left. The teams playing the best basketball. They may not be the best teams, but they're playing the best basketball. What do you got for me? Heat Nuggets in our NBA Finals breakdown and pick.
Yeah, one of the weirdest finals that I think I can remember. I mean, just so random. Just so random. Just some of the most random thing I've ever seen. So I didn't watch Game 1. Yesterday I was with my grandparents, went out to dinner. I just wasn't able to watch it. I will probably tune in for Game 2 or Game 3, one of those. Not really interested this year, to be honest. Good for the Nuggets. I mean, I think that they're going to win. I don't think this is going to be too competitive. I'll just say Nuggets in 6, just, to see if, maybe it's interesting, but a part of me was kind of leaning Nuggets in 5, but I'll just say 6. I'll say that, Miami gets 1 in Denver and then they get 1 at home, but Denver wins 4-2. So, I just don't think that the Heat have enough. The Denver definitely ran into the right team in the finals. That's for sure. I think that, the familiarity between the Celtics and the Heat, that's going to be a competitive series. Whereas there's not a lot of familiarity that the Heat have with the Nuggets. And so, like you said, playing in the altitude, not getting a lot of rest. We'll see what Jimmy can do. I mean, you know what? I think that he's going to surprise some people and force it to Game 6. But, and I would not be shocked if the Heat won either. Game 1 is the least important game of the series. There's been so many times where a team has lost Game 1 and come back. I mean, last year. I mean, the year before. I mean, the Bucks lost 2 games, and they won 4 straight. Last year, Warriors lost game 1. You know, they were able to win game 2. I mean, we've seen it happen so many times. I mean, the Heat run with this against the Spurs, they lost game 1, came back and won. You know, just there's so many games there's so many times I've seen series where teams have lost game 1 and come back and won the series. So, but the Heat do now. You know, that puts a little bit of pressure on them, because now, you know, now you gotta get this next one. You gotta get this next one. So I don't, like I said, it's kind of a boring finals for me, you know, but I like the parity. It's good to see the Nuggets getting in there and getting one to kind of mix it up a little bit. And like I said, I mean, for their first finals appearance, they ran into the right team, because, you know, the Celtics, it was our first finals appearance with the team that we had, and we ran into the Warriors. Yeah. If we would have ran into the Nuggets, we might have had a shot. If we would have ran into a different team, the Grizzlies, we would have had a chance. But we ran into the Warriors. True. They didn't run into the Warriors. You know, they didn't run into the Bucks. True. They didn't run into a team that has championship pedigree. You know, Spoelstra has championship pedigree, but no, I mean, Kevin Love is a role player, but the main core doesn't have championship pedigree, meaning Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, you know,
Kevin Love didn't play.
Kevin Love didn't even play. So, of course, Caleb Martin plays like crap against the Nuggets, and he hits every shot.
Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, and Max Strus combined for 2 for 23.
No, I love it. It's like you guys come out and completely crap the bed. And the Nuggets, but you guys just had to hit all those shots against the Celtics. Just my luck. So, not much to say. Like you said, Nikola Jokic, one of the greatest big men. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Bill Russell documentary, but Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, those, in my opinion, are the best ever big men. But Nikola's writing his story still, so.
He's writing his story. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. You know, Jokic is still writing his story, and he's definitely got a lot to add to that story so far. So I'm very excited, and, you know, we got some very cool things coming to you for our next episode, because I'm going to game 2, baby. Yeah, the sports guys, one sports guy will be at the NBA Finals, and we will give you some footage for tax purposes, but we'll bring you some footage for the NBA Finals, what it's like, the atmosphere, some of my thoughts, some of what I've seen. I don't have a horse in the race. I don't have a dog in the fight, so I could care less.
Those are the best games to go to.
It's going to be great. It's going to be exciting. I get to see Jokic. I get to see Himmy buckets. I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch some great basketball. Man, oh man, we are winding down our first year of Meeting the Key, and we hope you have enjoyed, because that will do it for the Eastern Conference Finals review and our finals just kind of breakdown and picks. 1 down, 4 to go. In the Heat's case, 0 down, 4 to go. Or in the Nuggets case, 1 down, 3 to go. Excuse me. I guess I should say that properly. In the Heat's case, 0 down, 4 to go. Who wants it more? Who wants it more? Either we're going to get a great story with the Miami Heat, or we're going to get a great story with the Denver Nuggets. Either way, if you are a basketball fan, definitely a great story being written by both of these teams. And I'm very excited to see how it ends. Either it's going to end in utter dominance, utter just sweet blissfulness, or it's going to be something incredibly competitive and everything in between. We got a lot to look forward to. We are not done yet, though. The series is not done yet. The finals isn't done yet. The NBA is not done yet. Brandon, any last words for the people?
Yeah, just I hope you have a great time at the game on Sunday, and I'll be tuned in. You know, just hopefully it'll check out that environment. I've never been to a finals game yet, and I plan on going one day. I do. I just don't know when that'll be, but you know, we're already planning for that Super Bowl, so we're gonna make it happen. Yep. We're gonna make this happen. I'm gonna go to a finals game. I'm super excited for you. And I just hope you have a blast.
It's going to be fun. I'll have a lot of videos. I'll have a lot of pictures. I'll give you guys some of my in-game commentary if I can remember to do some for you guys. So we'll have a lot to bring you in our next episode. But as always, if at any point you like what you see, because we just want to thank you, whether you're a new viewer, returning viewer, everything in between, we want to thank you. So if at any point during the video you like what you saw, do us a favor, smash that like button. Just smash it. And then just tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime new videos drop, you're always right there to catch the action. Because we're the sports guys now. We cover sports. And we're happy to do it. And we got more sports to talk about. We got the Miami Heat. We got the Denver Nuggets. 2023, 2022, 2023 NBA Finals. It is going down. That's going to do it for this edition of Meeting the Key. That is one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. I am Jacob Cutler, and together we make up the sports guys. And until next time, Brandon and Jake, we're out.